Oh, dear.
Hello, it is the...
You sound husky this morning. Why is that?
Because I think everyone just left from the Happy Hour podcast after party. Can you see I have those ridges on my face?
Yeah, you have you have like a corduroy pillowcase, don't you?
I do. It was a very, very long night. A Happy Hour podcast with Jody Hamilton. Spectacular.
Yes.
She has an awesome story about her mom, Carol Burnett, and as she calls her, Aunt Julie Andrews.
Julie Andrews.
As you do.
Yes.
That was an awesome happy hour yesterday.
It was like very different in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she has amazing stories about her life, obviously, in Hollywood.
All of her childhood friends were
everybody we brought up. She's like, I went to school with her. Oh, Melissa Rivers, I went to school with her.
The sons and daughters of famous people.
Yeah.
Who's the insult comic?
Oh, no, I was laughing.
Don Rickles,
she probably got in fights with everybody about whose parents are funnier.
Yeah.
Because everybody's parents are like legendary comedians.
She wins on that one. Come on.
Right, she wins.
She
does win. She wins.
Yeah. That was really fascinating. And we cursed.
A lot.
Yeah.
She was a little too classy.
It took a little while for her to get into it.
Yeah.
She got into it.
That's like a victory for me. The first S-bomb I get out of my gas.
It's like popping their cherry, isn't it?
Yes, it is. What? Excuse me?
Yeah, you can.
Can I say that on the air?
Yeah, it's a borderline, but...
Oh, hey, looky here. U.S. creates 214,000 jobs in October. Unemployment rate falls to 5.8%. Thanks, Mr. President. Thank God the American people have just repudiated all your policies, according to pundits.
That came out after the Republicans won the Senate, so they are responsible for those jobs.
They clearly did that. Oh, well, thank you, Republicans. Thanks so much for that.
Every good report that comes out now, because
there's only one man. There's only one man that can save us now. You know who I am. And I didn't. Oh, jeez. So you were still drunk too.
And ask him who he hung out with last night. Speaking of Jody Hamilton.
Spill it, John Fugelsang. Spill it.
Good morning, you
Good morning.
thinking hungover liberals.
Who did you hang out with last night?
Oh, really? We're going to go there already?
Yes.
Wow.
While you were hanging out with Jody, I got to hang out with Jody's mom here in New York.
Really? What were you doing?
I went to see Carol Burnett in A.R. Gurney's Love Letters.
Oh, I love that play. I love that play.
Great play.
Yeah.
It's closing tonight. It was Carol Burnett and Brian Dennehy.
Brian Dennehy, yeah.
Who I saw do Death of a Salesman like 15 years ago, and it was them together, although as of tonight it's Candice Bergen and Alan Alda.
Oh, wow.
But so we went last night, and Carol, was very lovely and got me house seats, and I got to go backstage after, and Charmian was so excited, and when you meet her, it really is, it's better than meeting Elvis. I mean,
I know.
I've hung out with half the Beatles, and it's just like you're with history, and I had never met her in person before. So,
oh, you're kidding? Yeah,
no,
we were talking. We were talking the time I just met her recently with Jody. I was backstage at the Tonight Show, and I fell actually over the side of the couch onto a couch like in a mini faint.
Or a pratfall.
Yes.
In honor of Carol.
And that's takes some nads to do a pratfall in front of Carol Burnett.
Trying to one up her there. Way to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a few people in Hollywood who would still genuinely. I mean, there's a few celebrities who would genuinely just stop me in my tracks. Carol Burnett.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan. The Kardashian GYN. I mean, just like icons in the industry. So it was just huge, and she couldn't have been more gracious. And the play was great. If you're in New York, you can get to see her.
I saw her do it out here with Charlton Heston.
Oh, cool!
And it was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. I was telling everyone that Heston did that back in the 90s.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, John Fugelsang, hey, any news happened this week? What's going on?
Slow news week, I think. Bob Dylan released the Basement Tapes. That was exciting.
What's that?
Bob Dylan released the Basement Tapes finally.
Great.
Good.
There's a lot to talk about. Let's begin by telling everyone that when Comedy God closes a Michelle Bachmann door, he opens a Joni Ernst window.
That's what I have said. Yeah. With the crazy laugh that everybody has been. Seriously, she did not. She did not bust that out. She didn't show her crazy until the acceptance speech.
And Gail didn't appear until after the election.
Her husband, Gail.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be. Listen, I mean, look, it's really great that non-millionaires elected her, But they will soon find out, the good people of her home state, that for all the pig castrating rhetoric, this lady's all squeal and no bacon. It's going to be really fun watching it play out.
Yeah. Well, you heard the breaking news this morning. Of course, added way more jobs than expected. Unemployment rate dropped. I mean, I don't know if you saw Bill Maher's rant, John, but we played that because I just thought it was so dead on. It's what I've been saying, for months, and I think you too, is just about, why are you not running on this president's record, which is, whether it's Forbes magazine or whatever, have talked about how great his record is, and people and the Democrats ran away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, exactly. They certainly did. And, 50-plus straight months of private sector job growth. Gas prices are down, medical inflation at the lowest rate of 50 years, record Wall Street profits, record highs for the Dow, unemployment below 6%, bin Laden is dead, it's the lowest growth in government spending since Eisenhower, the deficit is being cut in half, so let's go back to doing everything Bush did.
Mm-hmm.
And when your lovely right-wing loved ones, coworkers get so mad when you bring up Bush, that's a sign that you have to keep on bringing up Bush, because they want Americans, they want the middle to forget that Bush ever happened. Because if we forget Bush ever happened, we won't notice so much. They just want to do everything Bush did.
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with your right-wing loved ones, ask them, what is this GOP Congress going to do differently from what Bush did? And they'll say, oh, there you go, blaming Bush. No, not blaming him. What are they going to do differently? And make them answer, because they got nothing on it.
Yeah.
The only good thing that comes out of this is going to be for comedy.
That's what I said. The comedy gods have brought us Joanie Ernst. When
great.
He taketh away a Michelle Bachmann, brings us, yeah.
I mean, it was really a triumph for all the real Americans who still mostly use rotary phones. But here's something interesting.
Yeah, that was the other big story, is how old. That's what I was going to say. They'll all be dead by 2016, so that's good news.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
But I mean,
here's
John,
what you need to know that the top trending topic on Twitter during the heat of election night was Grease 2. Okay, that's. The majority rules, and sometimes the majority stays home.
Oh, my God. Well, John, and you've said it, a million times, we all did, about, turning out, and we did not. Women didn't, African Americans, Latinos, young people, and it just, that's the thing. It's like every headline is a fresh horror. Had John Boehner, Mitch McConnell pledge renewed commitment to Obamacare repeal. James Inhofe, head of the Environment Committee. Yeah. I mean, you're like, oh my God, this is really.
It's very easy to be angry at people for staying home, and the people do suck. That's why the politicians suck. We suck. Okay, we're a society built on Kardashian, turducken, and open-toed boots. We do suck. We're like Michelle Bachmann on Whippets. We're dumb people. Let's get that out of the way. But the fact is, every president in my lifetime who's had 2 terms has had to spend the last 2 years with a full opposition party in Congress. Reagan had Democrats for his last 2 years. Clinton had Republicans his last 2 years. Bush had Democrats his last 2 years. So historically, it's not all that insignificant. It's not all that out of the ordinary. It's exactly what's happened our whole lives. And this is going to be a great opportunity for President Obama. Now he's going to have, 2 jobs. Well, really 3 jobs. 1, do whatever he can to help struggling Americans and shine a light on the fact that GOP is not doing it. 2, protect his own legacy and the veto pen. And now he's got such a clear bad guy. And they've elected some real bad guys.
Right.
He's going to help his PR so much. And 3, line it up for his successor. And he's going to do it very beautifully now because, again, the Sith force is hilarious.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think we're going to actually be teed up perfectly in 2016. The map goes our way in the Senate. I have to assume that it's going to be Hillary, and like you say, look at any poll on that right now. So, it's like, and the other thing we were saying, the great news is it's like, okay, what do you got? I mean, that's what the president's saying. I go, okay, now they have to govern, John, something they're completely unaccustomed to, right?
Well, they have to govern, but also, Democrats have to start, getting in the game. I mean, it's going to be really interesting now. We can all say, okay, maybe it's good that Harry Reid didn't got the filibuster rule after all. But is Harry Reid going to use it? Are these guys going to finally wise up and realize that Lucy is always going to pull the football away?
Right.
I'm really tired of a Democratic Party that's like one of those S&M submissive slaves that just forgets his safe word and keeps getting pummeled and doesn't do anything about it. So,
perfect example, first up, John, this executive order on immigration. I say the president should do it. I mean, and here we already have McConnell and Boehner warning him, we're not going to get anything done if you do that. It's like, why? The president has always said this should be done legislatively, and either this should spur them to do something or, do it before this goes into effect. Mm-hmm. If you have a better idea on how to do immigration.
They have to. I mean, look, the fact is the race is Mrs. Clinton's to blow, right? And I love Hillary Clinton. She's by far the best Republican we got. But the fact is the GOP can't win the White House without at least 60 to 70% of the Latino vote. No party can.
Yeah.
So, we're looking at the situation of perpetual midterm Republicans and presidential elections going to Democrats. And it'd be really great if the GOP could wise up. I mean, Marco Rubio knew it, and then he backed down from it.
Yeah.
And we'll see if they decide to get serious about it.
Yeah, yeah.
They can't get by on just gay hate and abortion hype alone.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so much to get to on What Happened Tuesday. John Fugelsang joins us for Fridays with Fugelsang on the Stephanie Miller Show. I'm on it.
A little bit of all of that went on last night here. Do a little dance, make a little love.
Who can remember? I just, pulled the under things off the chandeliers. Condoms, what's happening?
Oh, dear.
Okay, 21 minutes
Use
after.
condoms on the ceiling? Great, thanks.
All right, good morning. It's Fridays with Fugelsang. Jack Coulter tweets, Fugelsang is pure genius. He needs his own network. Mm-hmm. People have skipped over now the show.
You need a network.
Yes. Can we please be on your network, John Fugelsang?
Yes, you can be on my network.
Thank you.
I'd love to have you. I'll give you all your own shows.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, did we post the picture of John?
I just asked John permission if we could post it on our Facebook page.
Oh, sure. Go ahead, please.
Okay.
John hanging out with Carol Burnett last night. We were hanging out with Jody Hamilton, her daughter. So there, everybody.
So we had a bi-coastal connection.
And at the after party, Vince Vaughn's mom was here. So there. My big Hollywood life. Yes.
So you're hanging out with people's moms now.
Yes. I'm going hiking with Jessica Tandy's grandmother after the show.
How did the Happy Hour podcast go last night?
It was fantastic.
It was really fascinating hearing her stories of growing up as a Hollywood kid, and all of her friends were other Hollywood kids.
Yeah. It was really, it was really fun. And Jim Ward, of course,
was lady.
Jim Ward was filthy and hilarious as usual. He reenacted the Tom Brokaw bit from election night. You knew this was just going to be a wacky. Did you see his little skit, Tom Brokaw?
Yes, I did.
Yes. A
lot of people don't realize that Tom Brokaw started in the Groundlings. He's a great prop comic. This is his thing.
Pardon me, my cell phone. Oh, pretend it's my wife. That was hilarious. So 3 days after voters registered their sourness with the U.S. economy, as we mentioned, employers added a solid 214,000 jobs in October, extending the healthiest pace of hiring in 8 years. 31,000 more jobs added in August and September than had been previously estimated as well. The revised figures show employers have added at least 200,000 jobs for 9 straight months, the longest stretch since 1995.
An embarrassment for Obama.
Yes, the employment rate went from 5.9 to 5.8%. That is the lowest rate since July 2008. Thanks, Obama. No, seriously, thanks.
But like Travis said, it's right after the elections. The Republicans won, and so the Republicans are going to take credit for that.
Right. Oh no, John. This is how it's going to be now. There actually was a headline about the stock market.
Yeah.
So it's been at record highs the whole Obama presidency. So it spiked 100 points after the election. They're like, it's the Republican rally. That was the headline.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he's such a socialist, you realize.
Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Because he's so communist. That's why the stock market's doing so great, and the rich have never had it better. And during the first 2 years of Barack Obama's administration, 95% of all new wealth generated went to the top 1% of the population. 5% of all new wealth generated went to the bottom 99%. That's not a rap on Obama so much as it is a rap on people who don't know what words mean and call him socialist.
We already, actually during the Happy Hour podcast, we started drunk dialing John Boehner's office. Where are the jobs? And see, we should call this morning. Oh, never mind. President Obama did it. Never mind.
Yeah.
Where are the jobs of the American people?
Fantastic. This is all part of the left's sinister conspiracy to make Mitch McConnell actually have to work, and which is going to be wonderful. Comedians out there, seriously, we all want to thank all of you good people for staying home and not voting. You made this happen.
Yeah,
you built this, good people.
You built this. All right. John Boehner, in fact, yesterday.
My job is to listen to the American people.
American people.
The American people have made it clear they're not for Obamacare. I asked all those Democrats who lost their elections Tuesday night.
Uh-huh.
A lot of them voted for Obamacare. So my job's not to get along with the president just to get along with him. although we actually have a nice relationship. The fact is, my job is listen to my members and listen to the American people and make their priorities our priorities.
That was a record number of American people in there.
Yeah, well, you need to know the American people's priorities he's talking about. They want dirtier air and water.
Right.
The profits can be higher. They want their jobs sent overseas. They don't want to get benefits from their tax money. They want less benefits from their tax money.
Right.
They want to pave over the wilderness. They want to pave over forests. They don't want any laws for industry. Do not tell us what's in our food or water and make health care more expensive.
Yes, and
That's
please go back to discriminating against me for my pre-existing condition, and please take my child off my health insurance.
John Boehner is a lying drunk, and we all know this, and anyone with a soul knows it. Most Republicans despise him. But the fact is, the American people already weighed in on Obamacare when a vast amount of them showed up in 2012 to reelect Democrats.
Yeah.
This was a case where the majority of the electorate stayed home, which usually happens. Republicans always benefit from this. I've been screaming about this on your show and on MSNBC and in Port Authority Bus Terminal by the lockers where I hang out and screaming it.
Well, thank God you'll have a whole new network to do it on when you have your own network.
But, this is all very, very predictable. And look, we're at this point in history. This is where America's at right now. This is when we're alive. We could have been alive in Rome. This is more like Rome with better plumbing and free ringtones. But you don't give up the struggle. It's never going to end. We're never going to get a utopian society. You either care about your society or you don't. And if you do, you get in the game and you keep on fighting. And the bad guys are the people who didn't show up to vote. Because Republicans, hate is going to hate. They're just doing what they can do.
Yeah.
But the New York Times ran a great piece, and I posted it on my Facebook, how the states that benefit the most from Obama's health law elected Republicans.
Yep.
They're not going to repeal it. It's a Republican plan.
Yeah.
And they're just going to say all this, like they're just going to talk about getting rid of abortion, which they'll never do because abortion's the number one fundraising tool. It's the same old shinola shuffled around. And sooner or later, conservatives who aren't total ditto heads are going to wake up and realize these Republicans don't represent them.
Yeah. Well, I laughed. I had to laugh. The headline is GOP announces new agenda behind the paywall of the Wall Street Journal.
Right.
They wrote an op-ed, and just like it's like we all have to be Koch brothers now. You have to pay to see what their plans are.
Well, they know that only the rich read the Wall Street Journal, so they said, here's what we're going to do for you behind a rich paywall.
Oh, it's hilarious, John. It says their last line, looking ahead to the next Congress, we will honor the voters' trust by focusing first on, and that's it.
Yeah.
On what? Well, if you don't subscribe to the Wall Street Journal, it's none of your business. I mean, it's hilarious.
Incredible and predictable. And you know what? Just ask your average right-winger in your office or your cousin if they know what ALEC is, if they know what the American Legislative Exchange Council, or as I call it, aristocrats legislate, electeds cooperate, and how these guys just write the laws, and then these Republican legislators literally just copy and paste them, and that's how laws get written by the 1%, and that's how our government's bought and paid for. It's the aristocracy that's been running the country from the beginning, and democracy took a hit this week.
Yeah, and by the way, John, so that's the headline on their op-ed. Boehner and McConnell pledge renewed commitment to Obamacare repeal. Also they're going to shove through all those crappy House bills that have no chance of ever becoming law or the president ever signing them. And he says it also means renewing our commitment to repeal Obamacare, which is hurting the job market, along with Americans' health care. You can see why giving millions of Americans health care is hurting their health care.
Sure.
I think that's obvious.
Right. Obamacare hurts the job market, but NAFTA did. Carry on.
Yeah. All right. Carry on, everybody. Right back. More Fridays with Fugelsang on the Stephanie Miller Show.
She is a lovely person. Warm, intelligent, just kind of gullible. It's like every word out of her mouth makes you want to be like, oh, honey.
Oh, honey.
Oh, bless my heart. It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to Fridays with sexy liberal John Fugelsang. Good morning, John.
Good morning, children.
Someone else tweeted.
Comedy Neverland.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, someone else tweeted that apparently the election cured Ebola. Thanks, Republicans. Thanks. Wow.
Yep. The very last Texas person under watch has gone off watch as of yesterday.
Yes, isn't that something?
Yep.
John.
Wow. You mean that big government and private industry working together solve the problem?
Yes. Strange that. By the way,
we still have hipster doctor though.
Huh?
We still have hipster New York doctor though.
Oh yes. Well, okay. By the way, John, my favorite example of what has happened to the mainstream media, because I'm sorry, at this point they just echo Republican memes. You know, the Sunday shows, all of it has become, what is Obama doing wrong? No wonder, you know.
Well, you know, if I may, the media is as liberal as the corporations that own them. And when you look at the corporations that own our particular media, you might understand that it could be in their interest to have a Republican Senate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anyway, but my favorite exchange comes courtesy of our friend Charlie Pierce at Esquire. He was in Iowa, and so he had a face-to-face conversation with Joanie Ernst, and she was talking about how the president was not leading on Ebola. And Charlie said, well, you know, there's only one person in America that has Ebola. And she just stared, and then she said, well, your press, that's your opinion.
Yeah. All squeal, no bacon.
Oh, no. Oh, math.
God.
Math is so hard. It's so hard to count. One. Okay.
Yes. One concrete case, and she says it's an opinion.
Right. Both sides. Both sides do it.
Well, I mean, just know there's no human suffering that should not be exploited to use against this president.
Yeah.
Whether it's 4 dead Americans killed by terrorists, well, Obama and Hillary Clinton actually plotted the Benghazi attack.
Yes.
You know, any kind of suffering has to be exploited. 9/11 had to be exploited so we could invade Iraq, and Benghazi had to be exploited so we could attack Iraq. It's just how they do it, because there's no positivity. All they have is fear. And the question is, in the digital age, will America have a population that moves beyond fear, and we can actually work together to help people? But apparently helping Americans is deeply unpatriotic.
You know how lepers and other such would line up to talk to Jesus? Look at our phone lines. Look at the people that just want to touch the sleeve of my personal comedy Jesus.
Well, it's funny you bring up Ebola, because this election taught us one thing. The most dangerous airborne virus in America is not Ebola, it's amnesia.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
It's a bunch of people who want to go right back to doing exactly what Bush did.
Yeah.
It ain't Ebola and it ain't Obama, it's amnesia.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
Obama.
I love that they reelected Brownback in Kansas, who has pretty much made Kansas into a parking lot with his policies.
Yeah.
And so then he's like, I don't know what has gone wrong here, but someone's got to fix it.
And did you see that Inhofe is now going to be the head of the Senate Environment Committee?
Yes, I said that earlier. You don't listen to me, do you? I said it at the top of the show.
Oh, well.
Yes.
I mean, you know, it's 40 minutes after.
Okay. Thank you, Randy Rhodes. Robert in Florida, you're on with John. Hello, Robert.
Hey, ciao, Bella. How are you?
Yeah. Thank you.
John, I think you've been touching on it, and I think the answer is this. You know, they have the Bullhorn, they have the Fox Media, they have all those other avenues, how they, you know, they start a story and then repeat the story from what they printed an hour earlier, and they say, you know, and what I think we need to do as Democrats is that we need to go and take the Bullhorn from them. And how do we do that? We go on these shows and we challenge them. Now, mind you,
gee, if only there was someone that would do that sort of thing, John.
No. What I'm saying is, if Fox has the Bullhorn, and those people that watch Fox religiously, you know, they show up to the polls. But you know what? If they don't see ever a Democrat with an articulate point as to why it's the other way.
That's why I'm never invited back on Fox, because when they get a Democrat that's, you know, that is too.
Well, then what we need to do is that we need to make people realize they don't let you on. They don't want you on. They don't want your side of opinion on.
Yeah, they have weak liberals on Fox News.
Yeah. Of course.
Ones that don't fight back.
What?
Yeah.
You can see Morning Joe and that meat puppet there. What was her name?
Squint and the meat puppet. Yes.
Mika Brzezinski.
Yeah. Oh my God! They feel like they're at home. They got their feet on the desk. You know, they got their hands behind their heads, and they're spouting their crap, and they don't get challenged. You know what? MSNBC. I know you. To me, that's Junior Fox. You know, and we have no media other than you, Stephanie.
Thank you. Well, and then when there's the new John Fugelsang network, we'll all be set.
Dude, you better hurry up with it.
Yeah. Let's go, dude. Dude, John, what do you?
Dude, you better hurry up with it. Come on.
What's going on?
Yeah, me and Oprah are working on the whole thing.
Let's go to Anita in San Antonio. You're on with John. Hey, Anita.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah. John, what I think is that people don't believe the economy is booming, which it is. It's booming because they don't feel it in their paycheck.
Yeah.
Right, because of income inequality, yeah.
Well, it's booming. It's like Reaganomics. It's like it's booming for a very small amount of the population.
Right, and people's wages have been stagnant for 35 years. So why didn't we talk more about not just raising the minimum wage, but about, you know, how that would raise everyone's wages?
Raising wages in general? Well, my only guess is that big money in politics has made it so that you can't hope to talk about those things and still get elected. In a country where 94% of the winners in elections are the ones who have the most money, that's not democracy anymore. And Robert Reich is so right in saying that the square root of all of our problems in this country right now is money and politics. And if you're going to come out and talk about real solutions to income inequality, Chase Bank isn't going to give you millions for your campaign. And so we're sort of trapped here. And I'm afraid it's going to have to get a lot worse before it gets better, but I do believe it will get better because Americans, like all humans, are hardwired to fight for a better life for themselves and their kids. It's not the American dream, it's the human dream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think it may have to get worse, but the answer is money in politics.
Yeah.
You can get people serious about that. But, you know, just one thing about Fox's ratings. Fox's ratings are really high among people who consume all their media from one source.
That's right.
And that's what you've got to remember. Other news channels don't get as high ratings as Fox, but the people who watch those channels are watching other things and consuming their media in different ways.
Well,
if high cable ratings means credibility, then SpongeBob has twice the credibility of Fox News.
Yeah, I mean, John, listen, you know, people were kidding, you know, to some degree, but the John Fugelsang Network is actually not, you know, a bad idea at all. And let me just say one thing about us on our side and rethinking things. And you and I, we've talked about this many times, publicly and privately. But did you see the story, Chris, in the LA Times, Tom Steyer? And God bless him. The, you know, billionaires on our side, he spent, I don't know what, $75 million or something, and got basically nothing.
Right.
In terms of, you know, his environmental issues and all of that. And it would take how much of that to actually do a John Fugelsang Network or to do a progressive network that we all could be on, or keep shows like mine and Tom Hartman's and Bill Press's on the air, you know.
And in the forefront,
I'm just saying, as a party, this whole, you know, running away from your accomplishments and your record. I'm just saying, I think there's a lot of things we need to rethink.
Well, that's the thing, and I think in that sense, Allison Grimes will be remembered for that. You know, when this president was elected by such a popular margin 2 times in a row, he was reelected, and the Democratic turnout was so high. Bill Clinton said back in 2004, Americans would rather vote for someone who is strong and wrong than right and weak.
Well, John, that's my point. Is, you know, First of all, I got to say, I think Tom Steyer seems like a great guy. His number one, you know, issue is the environment, is climate change, and I feel bad that all that money got spent. I mean, and we have James Inhofe is going to be the head of the you know,
Environment Committee,
right?
Senate Environment,
right, and we've got hardly any of his candidates in because that's not where to spend the money. It's not how to spend it. We've been saying this till we're blue in the face. You've got to grab the media microphone, and you know,
you have to, but you've also got to make young people give a damn. I mean, we don't teach civics in this country.
Right.
You know, we used to grow up civic, and now we grow up corporate.
Well, that's by design.
The Constitution, they know the words to a bunch of commercial jingles, and you've got to convince people that democracy matters, and they have to vote. And you don't see Will.i.am writing any horrible, catchy jingles about voting in the midterms.
Well, it's by design. The Republicans cut funding for education, and so therefore civics classes get cut.
Right.
It's one of the first ones to get cut.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're moving on an era of corporate feudalism, and when Karl Marx said religion is the opium of the people, he couldn't imagine 500 channels and porn on demand and video games and all the distractions we have and Tinder and Facebook. There's a lot of things to distract you from how badly you're being screwed, and that's part of the game here. So, you know, it's like all empires collapse for the same reason, human greed, right? So we'll see what happens with this one, but greed is our enemy, and the fact is we can have this ridiculously high military budget, a Pentagon budget higher than the next 7 or 8 nations combined, bigger than Russia, China, and the UK combined, but America's downfall will not come from an external source. It'll come from within, and every empire in history has collapsed due to greed. And we'll see what happens here.
Let's do one quick one here. Robin in Minneapolis, you're on with John. Hey, Robin.
Hey, hi. Good
Hi.
to see you guys.
You too.
I've been trying to find the good in this election. I've decided that it is that now when the Palin family all file into a stretch Hummer, they can fire up a bong.
There you go.
There's that.
And then when they all get out of the car, you know, the thong dress and the little, you know, the patriotic shoes, they can just be covered with Cheeto dust.
There you go.
And track can be, you know, an absent-minded stoner instead of a belligerent, shirtless drunk.
There you go. There you go. Well, see, it's the silver lining,
we're
people, John.
helpers.
The silver lining people who chimed in this morning.
we used to vote for people who were smarter than us. Did you watch Ken Burns' film on the Roosevelts and how people just loved Franklin? Working class people loved this erudite New Yorker who cared about them.
Yeah.
Now you have a black constitutional scholar, and people don't like presidents who are smarter than them anymore. They want someone who looks and talks just like me.
John, I said that all the time. That whole like George W. Bush. Oh, I'd like to have a beer with him. He's just like me. I don't want someone just like me. I want someone smarter than me. You know, I mean, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and, you know, they all want to have a beer with a guy who doesn't drink beer.
Right.
You idiot.
Right, exactly. All right, Fridays with Bugle saying rolls along as we continue on the Stephanie Miller Show. The Stephanie Miller Show. Fridays with John Bugle saying 1-800-STEPH-12, the phone number, toll free from anywhere. Oh, dear, John, a little bit of breaking news this morning. Federal appeals court upheld anti-gay marriage laws in 4 states, Ohio, Michigan, Kentucky, and Tennessee, breaking ranks, of course, with other courts on the issue. The ruling creates a divide among federal appeals court and sets up the prospect of Supreme Court review. Good God.
Spectacular. Spectacular for so many reasons. I hope it drags out for 2 whole years. This judge cited ability to procreate in his decision.
Right.
You know that?
Oh, my God.
So you infertile couples thinking about getting married?
That's right.
Yeah.
Wise up and back off.
Yeah.
You old people who want to get married.
Right.
Screw off.
The Republican Party is outside of the American mainstream on just about everything. The overwhelming majority of the American people disagrees with Republicans on marriage equality, on the drug war, on legalized cannabis, on women's reproductive rights, on
minimum wage, on background checks. I mean, look at all the progressive laws that passed, John, all over the country.
Outside the mainstream. And now, if you will allow me a chance to say that Debbie Wasserman Schultz deserves a very good share of the blame for the low turnout and poor messaging of the Democrats in this campaign. Howard Dean had the 50-state strategy. No one liked Howard Dean. Debbie Wasserman Schultz didn't have a very good strategy. Everyone likes her. But come on, let's look at the Reince Priebus thing. How many elections did Reince have to lose, and they kept him in there? I have a lot of admiration for Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She's fantastic. But I do think that she needs to go back to the drawing board and get a whole new game plan.
You know what?
Get serious about winning state elections.
You know what I think about that? I think we need to have a head of the DNC who is not holding an elective office. Mm-hmm. We need someone who is, who can concentrate on that job while a legislator concentrates on their job. She had 2 different jobs at once, and I think she was stretched thin.
That could be. I mean, we had Jan Schakowsky on yesterday, and obviously she's, serving in Congress. But, boy, John, I think that, you and I love our fighters like that, like her and Alan Grayson and, people that went against the grain. I mean, honestly, John, the couple of people that did stand with the president won. Gene Shaheen and then, what's his name, the congressman in Michigan. Yeah, that invited...
Al Franken, Alan Grayson,
Yep.
I mean, like, the fighters won, and it's great to see. And Democrats are never going to get anywhere being Republican light, as someone once said. And I just really think that, I'm sorry, but I was so inspired by Ken Burns' film and by revisiting this world of like this progressive Republican and progressive Democrat who both made mistakes but went against the establishment and were rebels within their own parties and who devoted themselves to working for the working class, and it helped. Money doesn't trickle down. Money trickles up. You put money in a poor guy's pocket, he's going to spend it and stimulate the economy. You give more money to Mitt Romney's friends, it's going straight to the Caymans, and it's not going to stay in your community.
Yeah.
So, it's like it helps you, rich people, if poor people do better. But unless you want a system of just American corporate feudalism, something's going to have to change.
Yeah, the whole rising tide...
It's going to have to get worse.
Right, rising tide lifts all boats that, Bill Clinton used to talk about. It's interesting, too. One of the, I don't know if you saw the Bill Maher rant I was talking about, but, one of the people he took to task was Clay Aiken, who, said he didn't need the president, didn't want him to come. And again, John, that's part of it. The president is who mobilizes the base. And, he was saying you're a gay guy in North Carolina, and of course he, here's the good news, though. Clay Aiken to star in reality TV series about his losing House campaign. Media, it says, one of the phrases Clay Aiken, runner-up in reality television, always appear in headlines about him. They're doing a series on on Esquire.
Yep.
Yes.
Hope that's not the only reason he ran.
Yeah. It will chronicle strategy meetings, debate prep, town halls, bus tours, and door-to-door canvassing. And I guess that would also include the decision not to invite President Obama to come and help. I don't know, John. I just feel like that was a bad strategy.
I would have to agree with you on that. And, look, I'm not advising the president, but I wish I was writing his talking points and memes. And, And I would tell him, why aren't you going to Alabama? Why aren't you going to Texas? Why aren't you going to the heart of red state territory and asking those folks to their face, so their local media carries it, what has this Republican Party done for you over the past 30 years? When are you going to realize that cutting taxes for the rich haven't hurt anyone? You can get the average right-winger to understand how income inequality hurts all levels of society in about 2 or 3 minutes of just, spelling it out. And I'd like to see it happen, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, there's a reason I'm not a Democrat, and it's because I get tired of just seeing them being punching bags and playing the same game, the same corporate money game, and this timidity that if you actually tell the truth about how bad you're getting screwed by the 0.01%, that the 0.01% will stop financing your campaign. They have to buy in. They don't sell out. They're forced to buy in.
I love the headline, John Boehner warns Obama. Mm-hmm. Basically, the code from him and McConnell, just don't get all uppity. But, yeah, here's John Boehner.
But I've made clear to the president that if he acts unilaterally on his own, outside of his authority, he will poison the well.
Oh, no.
And there will be no chance for immigration reform moving in this Congress.
Oh, no.
It's as simple as that.
Oh, now a warning. Now a warning about... Really? The well might get poisoned now? Things might get partisan? Really? And there's no... I mean, that's just a stupid threat. There's no reason they can't do immigration reform, right?
No, and let's just, remind everyone how many more executive orders Bush had than Obama, just like how many more vacation days Bush had than Obama, and how many more czars Bush had than Obama. Hypocrisy's all they've got. What are the Republican Party going to do? This is the question I'm asking everyone who comes around, these smug little bastards coming around gloating over this. What is this GOP Congress going to do to improve the lives of struggling Americans? And no one has given me an answer yet.
Yeah. John, oh, by the way, a friend of yours, Tashina Arnold of the TV show Everyone Hates Chris, is going to come do a happy hour with us.
That's right.
Oh, I drool. That's the woman who's as brilliant as she is, Foxy. And lucky you. I wish I was there.
Yeah, we're still setting up the date. So.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
She said, hell to yeah.
Well, yeah, like I need one more reason to subscribe to the Happy Hour podcast.
There you go. Thank you, John, for that unsolicited testimonial. Joan in Chicago.
Pretty subtle.
Joan in Chicago, you're on with John. Hello, Joan.
Hi.
Hi.
John, I love you, but you could not be more wrong about Republicans and abortion.
About what?
Republicans and abortion.
Tell me.
Look what they're doing in the states. Look how many states now it is all but impossible to get an abortion.
On the state level, yes. On the state level, I agree with you. But on the national level, they're not serious about overturning abortion at all. And most of these state level, by the way, most of these state level abortion laws.
I think they will continue to fundraise on the issue. They will just say when those evil Democrats get back in power, they are going to make abortion legal again, and we can't allow that to happen. It won't stop their fundraising at all. I absolutely believe they'll do away with abortion if they can.
Mitch McConnell's already going to put this 20-month or whatever law. He's going to go forward with that, John, which is, is against science, against.
Absolutely, but I have two things to say to all of this. Three things. One is that everyone.
20 seconds. Sorry, honey.
Okay, well, two is that these laws are bogus, like Scott Walker's law, with the clinic, with the hospital admission. They know they're going to get overturned, half of them. And three, the Bush family was never anti-abortion rights. Anyone who wants to end abortion rights, what they're really saying is, I want more Dr. Kermit Gosnell, because rich women will still go to their doctors and poor women will go to butcheries.
I love you, John Fugel saying.
For life, we're fighting for. Goodbye.
Goodbye, I love you.
Love you.
Right back on the Stephanie Miller Show. You're sure to compete with Rosie Perez on The View.
Yes.
No, seriously.
See, I can't send myself a nipple memo. I mean, I could. I could send myself a strongly worded memo.
HR would send you a nipple memo.
Right, which is me.
Yeah.
I actually went to the dentist the other day. They said, well, can't you ask your HR department? I was like, that's me.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so would you like to know the answer? No, we don't have dental insurance. I didn't know if we did.
Can you ask
HR? I'm like, okay, hang on. Do we have dental? No, we do not.
But you know who could change that?
Who?
The HR department.
The HR department could change that. The HR department had two nickels to rub together. But anyway, that is a jaunty jacket you're wearing.
Thank you. Yeah. I can't compete with your sheer shirt.
Wow. You know.
Nipplegate over there.
We know your sports bra's green today.
Gotta give the people something. What was I going to say? Anyway, we were talking Spectacular Happy Hour podcast with Jody Hamilton yesterday. And Tashina Arnold just said yes, so we can.
So we're scheduling her.
Everybody
on that
needs
now.
Chris. Very exciting.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, and that'll be up audio tonight.
Audio will be up tonight at 6 o'clock West Coast time.
Yep.
And the video will go up overnight.
And Jody's hot.
Yes. Wake up tomorrow morning and have video.
Hot little minx. Just saying.
That's right.
Oh, and you're doing something hot.
Yes,
Palm
I'm going to be in Palm Springs on tomorrow, actually, for our affiliate.
On tomorrow?
Yeah, for our affiliate KPTR. Yay! They're going to have a booth with RR Broadcasting, that's their parent company, at Palm Springs Pride. I'm going to be there between 2 and 3 o'clock Pacific tomorrow, so come by and say hi.
Mama's so
if you're
proud.
in Palm Springs.
Mama's so proud.
Yeah.
It's going to be hot out there this weekend, too, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll be shirtless.
If they ask me to be shirtless, I'll be shirtless.
Okay, people, you heard it.
I mean, she's wearing a sheer shirt here. You can at least go shirtless tomorrow. Come on.
Yeah, but that's between 2 and 3 tomorrow afternoon, so come by and say hi.
All right. Oh, this made me think of you, this story, because I don't know how often you go to our post office box, and then you bring...
Like once a week or so.
Yeah, a collection of
odd
people
things.
have sent Mama. Things, that are very nice. What's the weirdest thing we've ever been sent? We got an entire
That picture.
Which one?
The oil painting that listener did of you emerging from the ocean naked. Do you remember that?
Yes, of course I do, Chris, as it is featured prominently in my living room.
The one that was a reindeer sleigh made out of wine bottle corks.
Oh, yes.
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
You put that next to your nativity scene
That could be
every year.
considered folk art.
I like the guy from prison that he actually sketched, so it was not an oil painting, he sketched a picture of him making love to me over a cliff, and I was a very, very busty blonde.
Yeah. That was before we were video. And so nobody knew what
He
you
was
looked
just
like.
using his own imagination.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
wonderful.
Ariana Grande, the Pop-Tartlet.
Yes.
Famous for her brother Frankie, who was on Big Brother this summer.
And we just say thank you to all the lovely and creative gifts that you send mamas away. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande called the police on a fan who sent her a 42-pound pumpkin.
There was something this week where I opened it, I was like, this is the box that has arsenic in it.
Well, yeah, could be. Right, anthrax could be back.
Could be. Sure.
Police in Lowell, Massachusetts paid a visit to the home of a 29-year-old Tim somebody after her record label complained that the guy was sending Ariana a slew of packages. So in addition to the pumpkin, would you like the fun facts? So, at least you're not having to deal with this every day. 8 Yankee candles, a 3-piece mirror set from Kmart. Wow,
Actually, those Yankee candles would be good for you because you like that type of stuff.
Sure.
You can set your hair on fire in the bathtub.
Picturing him carrying a 3-piece mirror set from Kmart.
I don't think Ariana Grande shops at Kmart.
He's like the Grinch's dog. He's just got a sled full of a $200 anklet from Kay Jewelers. Oh, very nice.
Oh, hey. Oh, only the best at the mall. What? Well, he's not going to go to Van Cleef and Arpels.
Someone went to the Westfield.
That used to be a joke with my ex and I. Darling, I got you a diamond ring at Zales.
Oh. No, it's every year at Valentine's Day when the Kay Jeweler commercials start running. It's like, oh, thanks, I'm single.
Boy.
Got it.
All right.
Well, there goes the Kay Jeweler account.
Yeah, thanks, Travis. A rock from the White Mountains of New Hampshire.
All right.
And an unspecified number of dog and cat calendars. Oh, I need a new
Stephanie,
calendar, but
that.
no cats. No cats, but dog calendar. I could use a new dog calendar, everybody. Yes, I could.
Great. Now I know I'm going to be getting a slew in the mail.
Oh, by the way, cops told Tim that he'll face criminal harassment charges if he does not stop sending Ariana all this crap. Tim says he is not going to stop sending her all this crap.
Aww.
Still there.
She is one ungrateful little tart.
This guy that made all the clocks and the things and the herp-derp things. That is spectacular. They're all custom made.
You have like a whole display cabinet back there filled with things.
Yes. Yes, I do. All right. Oh, Travis, here's someone else for you to book on the happy hour.
Yay.
Man drives car into a bar and seeks a drink.
Hey, why not?
This guy, right?
He could just drive right on in here.
Right, sure.
Pull up.
Close enough to the garages here.
You could have an open air studio.
Guy drives into Western Pennsylvania bar and asks the owner for, look at you. You've got a car in a bar. He literally drove into Woolly Bully's bar.
Woolly Bullies.
Woolly Bullies.
I would go to a place like that.
Yeah. Nobody was hurt. The building wasn't badly damaged. So, if you think this is a problem, you need a lot of drinks to kill the bugs up your ass.
Yeah. You drive a car into a building and it not be badly damaged?
I don't know.
Maybe it was one of those patio bars.
The bar owner gave chase. Police say that's when he asked the bar owner for a drink before driving away and crashing into a fence. So what's that? Oh, I'm here. Can I have a drink?
He could have made a clean getaway if it weren't for that fence.
Inches from a clean getaway. Okay, so we did this in the Happy Hour podcast, but I think it's worth because for some reason it's become a theme, things stuck in places.
In orifices.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris won that competition, and we cannot tell that story.
No, that one you're going to have to get the Happy
Hour for.
That is a little too disgusting.
I win.
The female version. You won the...
yeah.
Well, it'll be on the internet after the podcast hits tonight.
Based on the FCC, though, you can't win it now because you can't talk about that one on the air.
This one, man sticks live fish up his butt.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah.
Hey! See what he...
Hi! Every now and again, little Mr. Jaunty Jacket. In Brazil, the unnamed man, I'm guessing he did not want to be named because he stuck a live fish up his...
In Brazil, they have piranha. I hope it wasn't a piranha that he stuck up his butt.
You don't want to learn that the hard way. Yes, the doctors pulled a live fish from the man's intestine after it had shot up his backside.
Oh, dear.
He apparently had decided to put the fish there as part of his bizarre sexual fantasy.
The spawning season.
Right. Just where you go, here's what I think might be fun. It had wriggled actually into his guts, right up into his intestines, actually, passing a considerable way. According to the story before he just sought medical help, the fish was surgically removed by doctors who say they had no idea how the footage then ended up on social media. They don't know.
Doctors.
What? That I don't.
You know what?
However, the footage clearly shows many people standing in the background in surgical gear watching. Several appear to have mobile telephones recording the incident.
This is why we need Rand Paul as president, because he would deregulate all that so doctors could post the good footage.
Right away.
Sure,
so we can get it faster. Yeah.
There's the one reason why we need Rand Paul to run for president.
Yeah, exactly. Doctors can be heard laughing as the fish is surgically removed, and one says this one is for the history, and the other one said, I just sent a pic by mail, which is nice. It was what you're wondering, what kind? South American lungfish. Yeah. That was.
Is it a fish with lungs?
I don't know. That's the name of it.
We need to Google that and see what those look like.
Yeah, let's see what that looks like.
Particularly how big they are.
Travis, you're probably wondering, is this the first time a fish has been lodged in a man's rear end? No.
I'm going to guess no.
Says no.
No, it is not. In 2013, a Chinese man was admitted to a local hospital after he inserted a 20-inch long eel.
That's a whole different ballgame.
Well, unagi is delicious. That part I can bowl.
A lungfish looks like an eel.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it does.
So it's a similar sort of. Yes.
Oh,
okay.
That has teeth.
It has teeth.
Holy.
Oh my God! Leave it. It's too bitey for your ass. Oh dear.
That's worse than Ann Coulter up your butt.
All right, Byron in Michigan, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. We need a break from politics this week.
Yeah.
Hello, Byron.
I'll give you a break. Hey, first of all, can I be the official Earth-friendly dry cleaner and tailor of the Stephanie?
Absolutely. Why, thank you. Yes. And the Earth thanks you.
We needed one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's important.
Okay.
Hey, I got just a couple of things to say. One, first of all, is the first time the Senate Democrats filibuster something, the Republicans are going to start screaming, obstruction!
Yeah. Oh, I know. Exactly. That'll be hilarious. I'll wait here with popcorn.
Yeah. And they might look at this situation as being an opportunity to, maybe get some of the president's judicial appointments actually passed by saying, hey, we're not going to cooperate with anything until you guys do something.
Yeah.
Like maybe we could get a Surgeon General out of this.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
Boehner yesterday warning the president again with a big orange shaky finger.
The president continues to act on his own. He is going to poison the well. When you play with matches, you take the risk of burning yourself.
No.
And he's going to burn himself if he continues to go down this path. The American people made it clear Election Day. They want to get things done, and they don't want the president acting on a unilateral basis.
Unilateral is really hard to say when you've had a much more hello.
With that beautiful tam, John Boehner, you know he knows what a burn feels like.
Yeah.
Is it me, or is that the most condescending tone to talk to the President of the United States, and he's not 8? You're going to play with
uppity.
Oh, my God. Seriously? Yeah. Just the tone and the rhetoric they use.
That was terrible.
And it's not the first time. They do that all the time, this sort of,
They've got capital letters.
Do you think he had to stop himself from saying boy? Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. You know what? I need a fish.
A lungfish.
I need an eel. Immediately. Okay.
You've got something stuck up your butt.
I do, and it's... All right.
It's not a lungfish.
All right, 18 minutes after the hour.
Highly Scatological does point out that a lungfish is ribbed.
Oh, for your pleasure. All right, 18 minutes after the hour, right back on the Stephanie Miller. Oh, that's soothing. It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. 22 minutes after the hour, 1-800-STEP-12, the phone number. Toll free from anywhere. Greg in Miami. Hi, Greg.
Hey, Mama and Chris.
Hello.
Is that Travis?
Travis had to go answer calls.
Hey, how's it going? I thought I would always start a call to you by saying, hello, my lady, only because I kind of do a really good impression, but
I'll be the judge.
I sort of really do want to cry, like Oscar Pistorius.
Yes.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about these right-wing talking heads like Joe Scarborough who are sanctimoniously crowing about how they knew all along the Democrats should have run on the economy and on the president's side.
Right.
Supportive of the president, and their message on the right seems to be, you Democrats, you had good things to say about the economy and the way things were going, and should have been saying that.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much calling it malpractice.
Yeah. And I think, look, Josh Ernst said this yesterday. Listen to this.
I do think that there is ample data to indicate that a lot of the policies that the president himself has advocated are strongly supported by those who participated in the election. That from support for a path to citizenship for immigrants who have been in this country for an extended period of time, to the president's handling of things like Ebola or ISIL, that there's strong support for what the president has pursued.
And I agree with that, Greg. And you look at all the stuff that won, all the stuff the president fought for, background checks, raising the minimum wage. I mean, part of it is I do blame the quote-unquote mainstream media for a lot of it. Because you're right. How is it that you're for all those policies, but you're against the president? It's because it's a steady drumbeat of Obama bad.
Exactly. And if it is true that Joe Scarborough or Chuck Todd or John Carl or Major Garrett, any of those, the ton of right-wing nut jobs with microphones and a TV show, why were journalists such as yourselves not communicating that message to us, the electorate, before Election Day? Where was your responsibility as journalists? How is that?
Doesn't it just make
malpractice?
Doesn't it make your head explode this morning? The news that we've added how many? What is it, Chris? 200 and something thousand jobs.
A whole buttload.
A whole buttload of jobs. The unemployment rate down to 5.8. Lowest. I mean, just on and on and on. Lowest since I don't know, what is it? I mean, this is most job expansion since 1995.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
Right.
Not to mention the slower rate of increase of health insurance premiums since Obamacare went into effect. I mean, it seems like every tactic they took was to seem like every bit of good news somehow led them to be concerned about something. And let's not ignore the fact that the recently Comcast purchased MSNBC, previously the place for politics. More than happy to spend entire news cycles on non-political stories like ISIS or Ebola, even Ferguson and school shootings. And I'm not saying that those things aren't important, because they are.
And prison documentaries.
Exactly. but there was once a time when MSNBC would say, okay, we have breaking news about Ebola, and we'll get back to that after the news conference is held, and we'll give you a summary. But now back to politics, back to exposing Joanie Ernst and her nutty belief that there really were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And also, did you notice how there were really no town halls this
Yeah. It just you had the Koch brothers be able to buy glossy ads for the likes of Joanie Ernst, and you're going to see how crazy she is.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
We needed the chickens for checkups people. I mean, I understand that people are saying, well, they got more sane candidates. For all we know, the group going in there is just as wacky. We just didn't do as good a job at chasing people down in parking lots and saying, what do you really think about?
Yeah.
Didn't
Joanie Ernst was able to not meet with any editorial board or answer any actual questions.
And yet she still won.
Yeah, I know, and I think I wonder how many people even on election night were like, oh my God, wait a minute. Did we just elect
a crazy
lady? By any chance? Keith in Milwaukee. Hey, Keith, welcome.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
First off, my thanks. During this campaign, you tend to pick up a few pounds because of lack of exercise and all the junk food. And thanks to your lungfish up the behind story, my appetite is officially dead.
Okay. Well, good.
Yeah. Moving on. This whole problem that the under theme of Democratic politics, what makes you a Democrat versus a Republican, is the belief that government does things right from time to time.
Right.
And I think where we really got hurt by running away from the Affordable Care Act was that here's something that worked, and now we're not running on it. And that totally blows up our argument.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, we said it over and over again. By the way, did you see the Amber Vinson, the second, Ebola nurse that's obviously Ebola-free now? How is this President Obama's fault?
We did not get much training. The first time that I put on the protective equipment, I was heading in to take care of the patient. So we didn't have excessive training where we could don and doff, put on and take off the protective equipment until we got a level of being comfortable with it. I didn't have that.
So how is a private hospital in a state run by Rick Perry, who did not follow CDC guidelines and train the nurses properly, how is that President Obama's fault?
And he didn't let the CDC in to train the people properly.
And Joanie Ernst, who said it's the president that isn't leading on Ebola. It's going to be Senator Twisty the Clown. Okay.
Great.
Spectacular. Nicely done. We said yesterday, someone wrote a great piece. I don't know for sure. I think that she and her husband Gail have a sex dungeon under their farmhouse in Iowa. They just look like the type. Just saying. You could maybe like late at night, you can hear soft whimpering.
Flogging.
Right.
A little bit of flogging here and there. Sure.
And that laugh.
Oh.
All right. 29 minutes after the hour. Right back on the Stephanie Miller Show.
Stephanie Miller.
It might have been a mistake to open that second bottle of wine.
Well, live and learn.
Second bottle? How many bottles did you go through last night?
Well, the happy hour after party just ended
a
couple of hours ago. 34 minutes after the hour, 1-800-STEP-1-2, the phone number, toll free from anywhere. Dirty Whore Fridays. May Lee has a rumbly tumbly. Yes, exactly.
It sounds like that.
Pardon me?
It sounds like.
That's what happens in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
She's not feeling well today, so Tina Dupuy will be stepping in for May Lee.
Yes.
Dirty Whore Fridays.
And Tina Dupuy is going to tell us about her appearance on This American Life this weekend.
It is fascinating.
It's a fascinating story that I had no idea
I did not
that happened to her.
I did not either.
Yes, so we'll talk to her about that as well.
Oh, the headlines are just... which one would you like to do first? Oh, John Boehner, Mitch McConnell pledged renewed commitment to Obamacare repeal.
Great.
Oh, this one we've already mentioned. Climate-denying Senator Inhofe will soon chair Environment Committee. How about this one? For John McCain, new power to take on Obama. The likely head of the Senate Armed Service Committee will have a bully pulpit to push his muscular foreign policy agenda. Oh, great. How soon can we bomb Iran? Oh, my God. Really? Bitter party of one. Your table's ready at the House Armed Services Committee. Oh, God. Okay. Yes, I love this. We've told this story. In the spring of last year, an SUV carrying Senator John McCain slipped across the Turkish border into war-torn Syria for a secret meeting with rebel commanders fighting the regime of Bashir Assad. Remember when he was undermining the president's foreign policy on foreign soil against the wishes of the State Department? And remember how he was, what's the word I'm looking for, Chris? Wrong. Completely wrong. So those same rebels that he said, I know for sure these are the rebels we should be arming, they just joined Al-Qaeda with the weapons we gave them. Nicely done.
Thanks, McCain.
Thanks.
Glad you weren't president.
Thanks, Grampy. It was a risky mission undertaken over the staunch opposition of the U.S. State Department. Yes, because he is neither president or Secretary of State, but he went anyway.
Right.
But one, John McCain believed it was necessary to deliver a powerful message of solidarity, not with our president and our country, but with those rebels that just joined Al-Qaeda. Okay, right. To deliver a message of solidarity with the fighter who, in his opinion, President Obama had abandoned. By the way, the guy that lost to Obama in a landslide.
Right.
Yeah. He said, I consider you patriots. That's the guys that just joined Al-Qaeda with the weapons we gave them. Did I mention that part? Okay. And I will not rest until you get the support you need, which then we finally did.
This makes me so angry.
It's a remarkable return to semi-power. And the senator is already planning to use robustly, vowing to hold hearings, conduct investigations, and demand answers from administration officials in order to expose what he calls the abysmal failures of Obama's national security policies. By the way, we've not had an attack on our soil since President Obama became president.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. He said, look at the world in January 2009 and look at the world today. We've had a rudderless, feckless national security policy and no strategy.
Feckless? Really?
So the fact that we've had no attacks on American soil, that would be...
Oh, that's just luck. Right. Dumb luck.
Right. So the last administration's the one that happened on, but that was a really good, strong... Yeah. One former campaign advisor said he's got a real bully pulpit to speak out now and the authority to do something. When was the last time you had a nominee who lost a campaign for president who was in a position like this to torment his victor? Isn't that great? He can work out all his personal grudges. Those close to McCain said there has always been a personal edge to his sharp attacks on Obama. You think?
Yeah.
He has, they say, never quite gotten over his devastating loss. Oh, good. I'm glad we're giving him a stage to work out his issues. I don't think there's a night he doesn't go to sleep, stare at the ceiling, and think, how did I lose to Obama, said one veteran Republican strategist who's been close to McCain. Don't you just picture him just all night long? Wait, the angriest dog in the world. The head of the House Armed Services Committee. That's great. That is great. Here he is now, Grampy McSame.
I'd like to see an authorization that, frankly, does not restrict the commander-in-chief.
So he wants unfettered permission to do anything in the world.
Bomb away. Yep.
To get ISIS.
Yep. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie.
Great.
Glad we're going to have his steady vetting, ability.
Yeah.
That brought us Sarah Palin and the Syrian rebels that are now fighting.
Maybe vetting isn't his
Maybe it's not his bag.
Point.
Maybe his parachute's a different color. Okay. Phyllis in Denver. You're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Phyllis.
I wanted to talk about Fox News and what's going on in the motels throughout the United States. Whenever you go to breakfast room,
mm-hmm.
Fox is on.
Mm-hmm.
And the time I asked them to change the channel.
And they get offended.
They do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, but La Quinta, which was the last one I was at, they said it was a corporate policy to have Fox News on, even though I was the only one in that breakfast room. They would not change the channel. Corporate policy is to always have Fox News.
For which corporation?
La Quinta.
Oh, La Quinta.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, no, I mean, it's the same story everywhere. Mm-hmm. Exactly. By the way.
What?
This is rich. And you know why, on a personal level, why this is rich.
Oh,
Neil Cavuto on Fox News.
I want to take this moment to talk to all those Democrats who declined coming on Fox, who all but called us the F word, but now are the ones effed. Is it me, or were all you Democrats who blew us off the ones who are now packing up? The ones who ignored our calls to come on, now the ones who are on your way out? Look, everyone has the right to decline us.
Right.
But they might want to think twice about the wisdom of always ignoring us.
Mm-hmm. Here's why that's funny. Okay, because I was invited on Neil Cavuto once. And as we pointed out earlier, they don't like Democrats who fight back.
No, they do not.
Not only, I know what I did. You know what I said?
What?
I had the audacity to suggest that Fox News was slightly biased toward Republicans.
Yep.
I think what I said was that we were talking about the nasty Democratic primary, and I was saying, because he was saying it's going to go on and on and on. And I said, well, you'd like that here at Fox News, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because, and for that, what happened, Chris? I was never invited back, and I got a lecture.
Scolding the next day when you weren't there to defend yourself.
He did a whole rant.
Yes.
About me.
Yes, he
the day
did.
After I left, and I've never been heard from again.
He threw a tantrum.
So how about Fox hosts that are too big at pussies to invite real Democrats on? How about that, Neil? Any thoughts on that? Give me a call.
Yeah. How about asking some strong Democrats on to take you on?
My paper calendar's right there. I'm wide open today, Neil. Wide open.
I'm sure
Give me a jingle.
Jan Schakowsky also would love to come on.
Love it. Love it.
But you won't have her on because she'll fight back, and you don't like that, Neil Cavuto.
No, you know why?
Why?
Because Halloween is past. You know what that means.
What?
It's war on Christmas season at Fox News. They got to fill every segment. Thank God we have the official rapper of the Stephanie Miller Show, Macaroni.
Yeah.
He did a thing on the war on Christmas.
Yay, Macaroni. We're going to post the entire thing and the YouTube video up on your Facebook page.
Thank you. Dave in Minneapolis. Hi, honey.
Hey, Mama. You know, two things. First, the really exciting news. There's a little fish that will swim up a man, you know what, in hell, too. And I can't remember what name, but it has little spines, so it's almost impossible to pull out. So think about that one.
Yeah.
But the thing that is really came to me this morning is there's a collective lack of courage on the part of the entire political process right now. Everyone is sticking their finger in the air to see which way the wind blows and going with it.
Yeah.
The Republicans who, and I know I have Republican friends who are sane, who believe in marriage equality, who believe there should be immigration reform. But their voices are drowned out because the crazy is louder. And so there's no courage on the part of the brainy, rational, principled.
Are you saying in the absence of real leadership, people will listen to anyone that steps up to the microphone?
Oh, God.
All right.
Don't make me play it.
Sand. Okay, go ahead.
Sand.
Yes, don't play it.
All right.
The other thing is there's no courage on the part of the Democrats either.
Yeah.
Why not speak out loudly? Are you voting against people getting health care? Are you voting against people getting benefits when they can't feed themselves? Are you voting against children getting health care? Whatever. Why aren't they saying that?
Yeah.
That's the option. This is not some kind of moral vagueness.
Well, and it's you don't have to fight dirty, Dave. You just have to fight tough. You know, that's why we love our Jan Schakowskis and our Alan Graysons and our Senator Warrens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people.
Exactly. And then the other side, of course, they screech back. Well, that's just pie in the sky. You don't know what the reality is. Well, the reality is when you stand up for principles, you get knocked about. You get pushed back.
Right.
But when the game is over, you have stood up for the principles, and I believe more people are listening to you than some kind of flip-flopper who only is worrying about what the Koch brothers or some other corporate entity are.
Yeah.
It's just.
More importantly, Dave, what do you think Marcus Bachman's going to do with all his free time now?
Well, he's writing his memoirs.
Oh.
I'm convinced of it, and he's going to have some sort of little rummage sale to get rid of all of his extra hats and things.
Yes. Do you think will it be entitled "I'm Super"? Thanks for asking.
Probably. And I dressed Michelle Bachmann. But do you think Joanie Ernst is a fan of Rocky Mountain oysters?
Yeah, I'm sure she is. No.
Thanks for asking.
That'd be awesome.
All things considered,
I
couldn't be better, I must say.
Thanks for asking.
I'm feeling super, and nothing bugs me. Everything is super when you're. Don't you think I look cute in this hat?
You know I have a new dream, and that is if he and Larry Craig get married. I think that'd be special. Okay.
Let me be clear. I am not gay.
I know.
I never have been gay.
I know, but for Marcus, I think you could rustle something up.
I love my wife.
46 minutes after the hour.
Is that what he's calling Marcus now? His wife?
Yes. 47 minutes after the hour, right back on the Stephanie Miller Show.
I am
It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Sorry, I'm just reading a funny article. Okay. 52 minutes after the hour. We just posted it. When God closes a Bachman, he opens an Ernst.
Yep.
That's a good caricature of the crazy, crazy Joanie Ernst, Senator Twisty the Clown. Oh, look, according to Pew, men and older... Pew. Yeah, it is really, Pew, this one. Men and older Americans key to GOP's victory. Both men and Americans over 65 favored Republicans by a 16-point lead. That's the good news. All be dead soon. Thank you, grumpy old men. The fresh horrors that await us.
You know what, though? As the grumpy old men keep dying off, we keep making more.
God. Yeah, this is hilarious. I don't know who wrote this. Oh, Raw Story, we posted it. But it's hilarious. Could I have some festive comedy music, please? If it's any consolation, many of the voters who shoved so many Republican candidates down America's throat last night will probably be dead by 2016. The election brought a close to the Michelle Bachmann era, the girl with the faraway eyes. Copyright Charlie Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
A shout out to our Charlie.
Yeah.
Is putting her political career on hiatus to make some sweet wingnut talking head cash to support her child collecting habit and to keep husband Marcus in Spanx. He wears man Spanx.
Yeah, he does. I don't think he wears man Spanx. I think he wears women Spanx.
For those of us who chronicle the slow decline of America into a pre-Enlightenment hellscape of anti-science, God-bothering flat earthers, this is a great loss, since Michelle was more fun when you kept in mind that she was on the House Intelligence Committee.
Yeah.
Because both God and his golfing buddy, John Boehner, are funny that way. Now she'll just be a minor league Palin without the feral trailer park cynicism and the Peg Bundy wardrobe. No, Marcus will be sure of that.
Yeah.
In a development that is bad for America but good for me, the ethanol huffers of Iowa has seen fit to send pig ball handler Joanie Ernst to the bigs, bestowing upon her one of 2 allocated United States Senate seats. So now America has their first Alex Jones Republicans because Tea Party Republicans are so passé. Yeah, check out all the crazy. We did it yesterday. Conspiracy theories and Agenda 51. And
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. And as bonus, since Bachmann will be taking her delightful Marcus with her, Ernst will be dragging her own ball and chain to D.C. With her by the name of Gail. It is too a man's name. And he seems charming. Gail Ernst drew criticism recently over Facebook posts that were made public in which he called Hillary Clinton a lying hag and Janet Napolitano a traitorous skank.
Mm-hmm.
And joked about shooting ex-wives. He is divorced from his first wife. He said, he has a joke. You ready? Okay, hang on. What do you do if you see your ex running around in your front yard screaming and bloody? Stay calm, reload, and then try again. I bet you Joanie thinks that's funny.
That's horrifying.
This forced Joanie to thoroughly chastise him for saying things with his outside voice that are best kept as something private between a man and a woman to be used as intimate pillow talk during rough sex. This is funny. Gail, still a man's name, you guys. Also, mea culpa, saying I would like to apologize for the inappropriate comments I made about the. So it's all cool now.
Okay, sure.
Together, they seem like your typical nice Midwestern couple who totally don't have a kidnapped hitchhiker sex dungeon under their farmhouse that echoes with the sounds of weeping and creepy laughter, upsetting the cows and making them refuse to give milk. They should fit in well in Washington. Okay. That is the sounds of outside the Ernst farmhouse in Iowa late at night. We speculated on the Happy Hour podcast that the ball gag is made of actual hog balls.
Yes.
She has actually castrated herself.
Yeah, she's repurposing.
Yeah. Carl in Nashville. Hello, Carl.
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
Good.
You know how people always start a conversation sometimes. Don't take this the wrong way.
Yes.
Yes. Take this call as wrong as your imagination will allow.
Okay.
Let's start with our candidates. Let's start with Ms. Grimes. I hope that she is enjoying being a Clinton Democrat, whatever the hell that is, because she'll never be senator of Kentucky. And while you have a little time off, Ms. Grimes, think about who you voted for. Maybe you can remember the people who you alienated.
Yeah.
You couldn't remember who you voted for.
Yeah.
Harry Reid, you steaming cup of snot. Thank you very much for giving us Mitch McConnell, Senator Leader McConnell, because you coward. You sit back and let this man obstruct everything. Not only that, when the Affordable Health Care Act was being put out there, when everybody on the Democratic side wanted, at the very least, a public option, you allowed a handful of senators to strong-arm you when you were the leader of the Senate. You were the leader of the Senate, and you allowed them to give us this watered-down junk that we won't even stand up and defend for right now. But here's the good news, guys. At the very least, 2016, it makes it easier for us to get another leader in there because, let's face it, they're going to take back the Senate in 2016, and it made it easier for us to get rid of this coward called Harry Reid.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing I would say is, do the executive action on immigration reform. Stand for your principles. I mean, we were saying that yesterday, Carl. There was stories from insiders saying the president was, hurt and pissed that he was, not asked to, and he said he's going to defend his policies much more robustly because, what does he have to lose now? Let's mobilize our base again.
Look at the economy. Look at the Affordable Health Care Act. Look at the saving of GM. Why in the hell these people? I mean, are you kidding me? You can't remember who you voted for?
Yeah, stand up, stand up and fight. 58 minutes after the hour, right back on the Stephanie Miller Show. Why, yes, it is. Happy Friday, everybody. 6 minutes after the hour, spectacular happy hour podcast with Jody Hamilton, Carol Burnett's daughter.
It was
fascinating. Good friend. It was really great. Audio up tonight as usual. Video up tomorrow. Get it, go. StephanieMiller.com. All right. Oh, by the way, breaking news, as we mentioned this morning. U.S. creates 214,000 jobs in October. Unemployment rate has fallen to 5.8%. 3 days after voters registered their sourness about the U.S. economy, employers added 214,000 jobs in October. That is extending the healthiest period of hiring in 8 years. The Labor Department also, there was a combined 31,000 more jobs added in August and September than had been previously estimated. Employers have now added at least 200,000 jobs for 9 straight months, the longest such stretch since 1995. Burst of hiring lowered the unemployment rate from 5.9% to 5.8%, the lowest rate since July 2008. Thank goodness the American people have seen fit to repudiate the president's policies, as we've been told.
Or repudiate.
Exactly. Exactly. America en masse has said, please, I would like to give my job back. And my health care. It's so awesome. Yeah. Oh, there's only one woman that can help us now.
Funny and smart, I want to bring on Tina Dupuy. Tina Dupuy is brilliant. She's funny. She's a terrific writer.
Tina does everything, and I just love her already.
Hello, Tina Dupuy.
Hello, Stephanie Miller.
Well. What a week we've had.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
And the election apparently cured Ebola. Oh, boy. Thanks, Republicans.
They're magical in every way.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. How about that election?
Especially in their thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was, whew. The line this morning is what they won everything except for the lottery.
Yes.
On Tuesday, that was, look, I'm trying to come up with something positive about this. Here's the thing. They actually can't say no anymore. They have to say, this is what we want. They have to have ideas. They have to do something.
Well, they already do. They said they're going to.
And they're going to repeal Obamacare.
Right. There you go.
Thankfully, they're going to replace it with their idea for health care, which is, strangely, Obamacare. So that's going to work out well. I am hoping that they don't take my health care away. I'm just,
Yeah. Well,
because of a pre-existing condition like, I don't know, hangnails. It was really crazy before Obamacare. We kind of as liberals have to defend this policy because prior to Obamacare, people would get denied coverage for having acne. This isn't just like us being hyperbolic. These big companies that were completely not regulated were able to basically blacklist people who could possibly be expensive and the people who actually needed health care. This was something that for 40 years they were trying to get passed. It's finally passed, and now they've tried to repeal it 50 times. Now they're promising to do it. I don't know exactly how they're going to do that besides threatening to shut down the government again.
Yep.
And because they don't have a veto-proof majority. they actually are going to have to do something, and they are going to have to work with the president if they want their agenda passed. So it's going to be interesting, but I mean, they're going to blow it. We're going to agree on that, right?
Yeah, if one thing they do is overreach.
Totally.
That's all they always do. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If anybody knows how to overplay their hand, the Republican Party.
Yeah, and I love they obviously seem ready for compromise. Reince Priebus already called the president a liar. Essentially.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
he was
completely.
Yes. He was asked about, immigration reform. Obama obviously promised to take executive action. Priebus said, I don't believe a thing he says. So he's been talking about immigration reform for 7 years. You're using his words as if they actually mean something and asking me to respond to it. He's been talking about this when he had 60 votes in the Senate and Nancy Pelosi in the House, and they didn't do a darn thing. First of all, that's complete bull, as you know. Mm-hmm. I mean,
well, here's the thing with Reince Priebus. If he were black, after this shellacking, they would have fired him on Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Yeah. Yes.
Remember my boyfriend Michael Steele?
Yes,
that's right.
He delivered a straight shellacking to the Democratic Party, and the first black man to be the chairman of the RNC got fired. Wait for it, Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Awesome. Yeah. But anyway, I think my point about that, too, is that obviously the president never had a majority in order to get that stuff done because of a solid wall of obstruction from not one Republican would have voted for immigration reform. So, he's...
Even with all this obstruction, he's been able to get a lot of things done. And, let's remind ourselves that Boehner can't find a lawyer in D.C. that will actually go through with his lawsuit against the president for giving, federal janitors a raise.
Yeah.
He can't find a lawyer to do that. An actual law firm will not touch this lawsuit because it is that stupid.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, I have to say, because we were very excited, we talked last time about your being featured on My American Life. But this headline.
American Life, yeah.
This American Life, yes.
This right. Anyway, but.
Having a panic attack.
That's a fascinating story.
Okay, the headline is Tina Dupuy, one of AA's youngest members, isn't actually an alcoholic. Come on, that's a.
Yeah, that's. Wow.
Yeah. I had no idea about your fascinating life. Tell us what, it's basically they're saying, I have a press release in front of me. Tina Dupuy, the successful syndicated columnist, reveals a childhood with her former cult member parents and a 24-year membership in Alcoholics Anonymous, which began at the tender age of 13.
Oh, my God.
The public will get a rare glimpse into her journey this Friday. It's November 7th, on This American Life.
Yeah,
which, tell us more about this story.
Okay, so if you're familiar at all with the troubled teen industry, my parents were kind of the belief that if you're that you need to break a child just like you would like a horse.
A horse, okay.
So so I essentially cut school when I was 11, and so I was put into inpatient care because that was the kind of in vogue thinking, tough love type of thing, so I was put in all these institutions from a very young age, basically for just having, being obstinate and rolling my eyes a lot.
Which is so rare for a teenager. So by 13, exactly. you were put in juvenile hall.
Right, exactly. I was put in juvenile hall for, what it ended up because of a bureaucratic kind of snafu. I ended up being there for over 2 months, or for almost 2 months.
Wow. Oh my God.
Right, it was, and I wasn't a violent kid. I wasn't in a gang. I was just myself. And,
wow.
This little kid, and
probably without the skills to defend yourself in an environment like that.
Right, and being able to kind of psychologically detach and all the weird things that happens to a person when they're locked up against their will. And not like you would be locked up. Well, I guess you could be locked up for
right.
with your will, but another story for another day.
Yeah.
Anyway, when I finally got placed in foster care, I was awarded the state at 13, and they sent me to AA meetings. And the thing is,
now why did they send you to AA meetings?
Because they thought that everybody could benefit from AA. It is what they thought at the time was everybody could benefit from going to AA.
Did you drink?
I was locked up. Well, yeah, that would be a requirement, but no, not really. I was a potential alcoholic.
I see.
Probably half a dozen times, and I had what they said at the time was alcoholic behavior.
Oh,
which was my rolling my eyes, right? So everything was, there were alcoholics everywhere. So I'm in juvenile hall. I don't know how long I'm going to be there and if I'll ever get out. And Christians come in and they say, if you do what we do, you'll have everlasting life. And I was like, okay. And then AA people came in and they said, if you do what we do, you'll never have to come back here.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm sold.
Right.
Go to AA has exactly what I want.
It became your family, is what? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
These were people who took care of me. Who, I didn't have a family that, when I accomplished anything, I won awards in high school, or whatever. I didn't have a family to go to. I would go to an AA meeting and talk about my accomplishments. And so these people who were there to take care of me, and they listened, and they were the people who, who became my family.
Wow. And then you were 37. You decided to find out if you actually were an alcoholic, and you had a glass of wine. Dear God. And what happened?
It took me 4 hours to finish it.
Yeah.
And it turns out I have the lowest tolerance of anybody I've ever met. And if I take 2 glasses of wine, I'll actually fall immediately asleep.
Right.
Wow.
I am the opposite of an alcoholic, and so my identity is completely.
That must have been a weird mind thing for you.
Right.
Yes, I like not even cognitive dissonance. Just like everything that I ever thought and held to be true about myself is not true.
Yeah.
And so now, so I wrote an essay about this, about the experience of kind of being. The beginning of middle age and kind of finding out that everything that I thought about myself and viewed myself was not true. And I wrote an essay about it, and I sent that off to Julie Snyder. And then one day I got an email from a woman named Nancy Updike. And if you are a fan of the show, you would be, I was.
Ira Glass reads her name in the closing credits every week.
Yes, and she's the one who, when Ira Glass is not available, she hosts, and I'm like a huge fanboy. And so I get this email from Nancy Updike, and she said, do you want to come in and talk about this story? And I was
wow.
Yeah, and then of course I've been in denial that it's going to get killed and they're not going to air it.
Right.
And the last 2 weeks have been just the fact checking process, which is, just grueling.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait. And the last line in the press release is, Tina's currently working on a memoir about her years in foster care. She's in the market for a publisher. Hello, anybody that's listening right now, I would snap that up.
Right.
If I had the cash, I'd do it.
That's fascinating. Wow.
Yeah.
So it's been a remarkable journey. I mean, it's all still kind of evolving for me, and
it makes me want to spoon with you more than I ordinarily do already. And not in a gay way, just in a.
It could be in a half gay way, like a quarter gay way.
A little bit.
I'm very open-minded.
Tiny bit.
Tiny little reach around.
I might get a little bit of gay on you. All right, Tina, great stuff. We can't wait to see that. Thanks for taking time for us today.
Thanks, Stephanie. Have a fantastic weekend.
You too, sweetheart.
Yeah,
there she goes.
And that's on at various times on various NPR stations around the country. So check your local listings.
Right. 18 minutes after the hour. We roll along on a Friday on the Stephanie Come To It. 23 minutes after the hour. 1-800-STEP-1-2, the phone number. Toll free from anywhere. Maylee's Rumbly Tumbly. Let's send some healing thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. Poor May.
She will hopefully rejoin us next week. Yep. Let's go to Phil in Sacramento. Hi, Phil.
Hey, Stephanie.
Hi.
Hey, Chris.
Hello.
Hey, my wife is a regular caller, Victoria, but
sure.
my first time.
Oh, well.
So
hello.
Be gentle.
Boy, I have to say, you guys are really earning your money this week. I mean, I don't know how you guys can even watch the news with these Republicans that are just gloating and calling this whole election obviously that we want to overturn Obamacare. You know, what was the election 2 years ago? I mean, was that if they wanted?
Yeah, I love that. The two landslides that President Obama won. I guess those don't matter. This is the only one that matters now.
I mean, And especially the second one. I mean, what was that?
Right.
I mean, I believe that, like, voting is, people vote like the teams. It's like sports fan picking a team.
Right.
You know, Republicans, we're on the Republican team, and we have to go Republican, even though they go against a lot of the things that we want. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, if Democrats can run on, remember way back when Reagan, well, how much better are you 4 years than you were 4 years ago?
Are you better off now? Yeah, right. And we are better off in every way
Mm-hmm.
since President Obama's been in office.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Way better than the Bush administration, what they left us. I mean, come on. 6 years ago, where were you? Where were your stocks? Where your pensions? What were they sitting like?
Yep.
I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I really called about was the U.S. Appeals Court, the turning over that gay marriage ban.
Yes.
They say that gay marriage is inevitable, but that it should be put up to a vote. And I cringe at the stupidity in the fact that why would human rights be put up to a vote?
Right. We don't put minority rights up for a majority vote. Exactly. Right. By the way, Tucker Carlson on Alex Jones.
Yeah, on the Alex Jones radio show.
Yeah, listen to this.
I have no idea what's in his heart. I have no idea what his true beliefs are, but it's very clear. They've made it as clear as it's ever been in the last 2 weeks that they're willing to use race to divide the country and get out the vote and use racial fears to get their base, out to the polls.
Right. Did you hear about the C-SPAN caller on the air?
Yeah.
Republicans hate that N-word, Obama, except he said the word.
He said the actual word.
Oops. Someone told the truth. It got on the air.
Oh.
Oops. Yeah, but Mary Landrieu is horrible and divisive for mentioning that race might be an element in the South.
Oh, dear. That's impolite to mention.
Oh, that is rude. Okay, Buddy in Columbus. Hi, Buddy.
Hey, Mama, can you give me about 60 seconds for a ring?
Sure.
Okay, you have people who, there was a bad turnout, and I'm sure there's skullduggery going, but you have people going to vote and saying, we want to send a message that we're tired of the obstructionism, and then they voted for the people who caused the obstruction. And this has to do with the subject you were talking about, which was if you own the media, you own the message.
Yep.
And two perfect examples that is Ebola and Chandra Levy. Ebola, Obama's been working on it since last spring. Right now we have 0 cases of it. In Africa, it's a 90% death rate in some places. We got a 90% cure rate. And the second one is, do you guys remember Chandra Levy?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All summer we heard nothing about Chandra Levy. They hounded the congressman from office, and it turned out she had nothing to do with it. But the real story there was that there was a dead intern on Joe Scarborough's floor with her skull crushed in. You never heard one word about that.
That's right.
Yeah.
The media put the story out about Chandra Levy.
Yeah.
Did anybody hear anything about Joe Scarborough?
No. And I'm guessing that's on the list of things not to bring up when you go on Morning Joe. Yes.
I imagine it wouldn't be a good topic.
Yes, I could be disinvited from MSNBC as well, I bet.
Oh, great.
Let's go to, I don't have to just specialize in Fox. Hello, Donald in Illinois. You're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Don.
Hi, Steph.
Hi.
What really gets me about this whole thing, they're going to ride this train all the way to 2016. That Hillary Clinton's going to adopt all of President Obama's failed policies. The only thing I think that we gotta watch out for, I hope, and I called up the president's hotline to leave him a message, tell him I was before him. But if he goes ahead with this TTP and it pushes forward, I told him to go against everything.
What's TT? Well, I'm sorry. What are you talking? Oh, are you talking about the Trans-Pacific trade? Right.
That'll put him in a position that's indefensible because all the stuff that the good stuff that he did doesn't get recognized anyways. They're going to try to take credit for everything else. And the thing is we got to stop them, and it's got to be done on national television.
Yep, I hear you. All right, right back on the Stephanie Miller Show. It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. 34 minutes after the hour. 1-800-STEP-12, the phone number, toll free from anywhere. Happy Friday, everybody. Lois in Louisiana. Hi, Lois.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chris.
Hello.
Lois from the Dirty South.
Oh, yeah.
Dirty South.
We like it dirty.
I want to make two comments. One comment is, you're right about, the caller's right about Joe Scarborough. He's nothing but a Pinocchio liar. And anytime one guy brought up on this show about the dead woman they found in his office, that guy hadn't been back on his show since.
Yes, I'm guessing.
And I wish y'all could come on at 5 o'clock. If y'all came on at 5 o'clock, Joe Scarborough would be sitting at home. He would not have a show because he don't have no competition.
That's right. Yes.
Okay, the next point, and I agree with y'all said everything about the voters, but we did, a lot of Americans, we did come out. Let me give you an example. My brother and I live in different districts. He got up that morning before 6 o'clock, 5:30, go to the voting poll right up the street from him. He got there. They didn't have the voting machines in there. The voting machine came in an hour later. But
wow.
You got to realize some of those people that go to vote early, they have to catch the bus at a certain time.
Got to get to work.
That's right.
Right.
And then when they leave that job, they got another job, so they're not able to come back and vote before the poll close.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you say, and I love y'all show and everything, but I want to say, y'all, we don't have a voice. Minority people do not have a voice. And your show and all Tom and the rest of that on Free Speech TV, that's the only way our voice is heard. I don't want to get teared up.
Yeah.
Pissed off, you know? And we appreciate y'all because the only way our voice going to get through is because of y'all. And I'm going to do everything, and our friends, we all watch your show.
Oh, thank you, Lois. You're going to make me tear up now. Thank you, honey. I appreciate it.
We try to get everybody we can to watch Stephanie Miller show because we need everybody speaking, but they not saying, we don't go with what y'all saying. We do.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Yeah.
We got up early and voted and everything, but they just, and not only that, the cops showed up. We thinking the cops gonna bring the voting machine in. They didn't bring the machine. They came out just in case people got riled up, so they can close the whole voting machine area down. See, that'd be an excuse too. How many voters Landry would have lost if they had done that?
Lois, we talked all about this. That there are all kinds of tactics of voter suppression, and God bless you for talking about it and getting out there and voting. She's going to make me tear up now. And that's the thing. When we were just talking about this story in the New York Times about, it's actually not just one guy. Tom Steyer spent a lot of his personal money, like $57 million, but all these environmental groups, and they got basically nothing for their time and money. And I joke about always making it about
Stephanie Miller, because
that is a good idea in general.
Yes.
But it's not just me. It's all of those voices. Like, as she said, Tom Hartman, the other people on Free Speech TV, I hope they start to get it.
Yep.
I hope they start to, you know what I mean? When the DNC calls me for money, I'm like, no, but you know what? You could do something about, propping up progressive infrastructure in this country. There's a reason that there's hundreds and hundreds of right-wing stations, because right-wingers own all those stations. And, anyway, I'm just saying we got to grab partially that is the answer, is grabbing the media microphone, because you got to get the people out to vote. You can't just give money to these candidates and then your message is not getting out there.
But we're here for people like Lois and her friends.
Yes.
And we thank you for watching Free Speech TV.
Yes, exactly. Where we were just told this week we're the #1 show. Why don't you have fine taste?
We are the #1 show on Free Speech TV.
Why,
so
thank you. All right, Kurt in California, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Kurt.
Hey, good morning, gang. How you guys doing?
Good morning.
Hey, I need to ask you a question. Have you ever been a participant in a magic show?
No, I have not.
Oh, so you never been in an audience when the magician comes up with a shiny object in one hand, and while you're looking at that, he pulls a quarter out of your ear, claps and says, "Wow, how do you do that?"
Right.
Now, you didn't have a quarter in your ear, right?
Right.
You know this magician didn't take a ping pong ball up his sleeve and then pull it out of his mouth or his keister. You know there's a way he's doing it, but you can't figure it out. So you give him applause because you respect the fact that he pulled it off and you don't know how he did it.
Right.
But nobody asked, how'd you do that? They just clap.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you about the magic trick that was just pulled on the American people this past November 4th.
Okay.
For 6 years, ever since the fake acorn scandal, in which some guy dressed up like a pimp and went to go find out how he can get a deduction for his HOE. All right?
Mm-hmm.
The Republicans have thrown millions of dollars at a problem that did not exist, that being voter fraud
right,
which has been 0.00001 percentage of effect on the election, right?
And Kurt, Lois was just referring to, there are a lot of tactics of voter suppression, and that is part of it. Is, you go, oh, what's the big deal? The voting machines were an hour late in this district. Well, it's a heavily African-American district, and they know that those people have to go to work, and that's the hour that they had to vote. I mean, that is a voter suppression.
Right, that's voter fraud right there, exactly. But let me tell you something else.
Or sending cops as a way to just intimidate or try to, tell people you're not going to be able to vote, or if you have any kind of warrant or parking tickets or whatever, you're going to get, you know what I mean? It's all of that stuff.
Exactly. But now, check this out, though. I just did a little research, and the company Diebold, D-I-E-B-O-L-D. Now, you can make a joke out about that if you want, Diebold. But the company Diebold that makes the largest manufacturer of these e-voting machines has been in and out of multi-million-dollar lawsuits, in and out of court over the past 10 years, because whistleblowers have been trying to tell the public that these machines are vulnerable as far as their software is concerned, and they can be hacked.
Right.
And the whistleblowers were sued in counterclaims and gagged, so they could not talk about it anymore. That's a known issue with voting in the public. But the Republicans haven't thrown not a dime towards making sure these machines are foolproof. But they throw millions of dollars to keep people from going to the polls.
And there were reports of that this last election. I can't remember where it was, but magic, as you were talking about magic tricks, magically it always seems to flip the vote to the Republican.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where was the case. I just did the story that I forget what state it was, but I mean,
I think it was like North Carolina or something like that.
I mean, I think there's a lot of different factors. Yep. Tanya in Chicago, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Tanya.
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to take you off speaker. Good morning. How are you guys? I love you guys so much.
I love you too.
Hey guys. That woman had me so teary-eyed. I'm African American, and I know I live in Chicago, and you guys probably heard about the robocalls that went out. 2,000 election judges were reached by robocall. It's a mystery call. No one knows where they came from, but to say don't show up to the polls. You're not needed. You need additional training. If you show up, blah, 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 it's going to happen. So 2,000 people, that's a lot.
Yeah.
They did not show up, and thus it impacted the availability for those to vote who wanted to vote. People had to leave. They had to go to work because the polls weren't open, or there were only one or two judges there, and lines of people. So it impacts the turnout. It impacts the turnout. So they try every dirty trick in the book.
Yep.
But I do want to say a couple of other things, that we need to have a line of demarcation between progressives and those on the right. And I think a lot of our issue as far as turnout and passion is that we are not presenting ourselves as the true opposition. So, we have to be bold. You have to be, you have to be courageous. You have to stand up for those progressive causes, those populist issues that most people agree with. Look at all these referendums across the country, right, that pass. It is very easy to say, how difficult is it to say that the Republican Party shut down the government, that the Republican Party has blocked extension of unemployment benefits, and all of those different things. Whenever the Republicans do things to block progress, our opposition party should hold a press conference, make news, make a big stink. Because unless we do that and we start capturing the attention of not only the populace but the media, because once we start standing up, trust me, the media will start to pay attention, and that will be our bully pulpit. You guys, keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Judy. You too. Yeah, I mean, these stories are just depressing about how many real people are going to get hurt. State capitals across the country will be more Republican than at any point since the Roaring '20s, when victorious legislators and governors take office next year. One of the direct results we talked about, people are going to die because they are not going to. The states who are on the fence about Medicaid expansion are probably not going to do it. Right. Let's see. This could result in lower taxes and put fewer dollars flowing to social safety net programs, and more people die. The newly emboldened Republican state leaders already making plans Wednesday to pursue deeper tax cuts, relax business regulations, expand and private school vouchers and impose new limits on public welfare programs. This is one of the that kills me. In some states, such as Kansas, Republicans will be able to do what they want because they control both chambers of the legislature and the governor's office now. Pretty much any analyst has said Brownback's policies have decimated Kansas.
Yeah.
He got back in narrowly. He acknowledged at a victory party, it's a difficult time for many Kansas families and jobs are scarce. Gee, I wonder why that is.
And who's in charge during that?
Yeah, who screwed this up? He pledged to keep the state on the route that he has charted.
Because it's done so well.
He said our way is holding down taxes, holding down regulations, and controlling spending. How's that working out for you?
Oh, my God. It doesn't work.
What indeed is the matter with Kansas? I'm just asking if anyone knows. All right, 45 minutes after the hour, right back on the step. All right, 50 minutes after the hour. Thank God, indeed, it is Friday, at least for 20 seconds.
25 seconds.
Oh. 1-800-STEPH-12, the phone number, toll free from anywhere. All right. Hey, another love letter from Mary in Sacramento. Steph, because I don't think you hear this often enough, it's true. I don't. I want to thank you all for the hard work you do week after week. It's like working in a coal mine. It's really hard. I can't imagine the frustration you feel reaching out and connecting with all your callers, despite the abuse you might feel from them every once in a while. There is the occasional asshat.
Yeah.
We need your voice and your laughter. Or Joanie Ernst, whoever. And everything that makes us feel sane. I know we will win some, lose some. But I know despite all of that, you'll be there to carry the big load. Oh, it is a big load. It is a giant load that helps get us through no matter what. You are indeed priceless. Well, even so, you could say thank you by going to StephanieMiller.com and hitting the donate button, or purchasing the Happy Hour podcast or videocast, or both.
Yes.
That is a bargain, by the way. By the way, our regular podcast, we haven't raised that price in years and years. It's the lowest of any podcast out there. And it is a spectacular bargain, if you don't mind my saying so.
That's right.
Okay.
It's pennies per podcast.
It really is. Okay, so this one, you just go sign up for StephCast, right? Mm-hmm. Under the StephCast menu.
Yep.
It's the Happy Hour podcast, ladies and gentlemen. $3.95 a month if you buy a year in advance. Only $6.95 a month if you have a fear of commitment.
Yeah.
Videocast.
Or a year of commitment.
Fear of commitment, right. Video is the same price.
Yeah.
The same. But that's cheap. We should have charged more for that. I don't know what the hell we were thinking.
You know, a lot of people watch the video podcast when they're on the treadmill at the gym.
Right.
Because you can put it on your iPad and then watch it there.
But if you want to listen in your car or in the gym or hiking, then get the podcast. Get both. Do it. Thank you. Okay. By the way, she's not done. I wish I'm blessed with living in California. I wish all my Democratic friends could have this too. We do. We have nice things here.
We do.
Maybe one day when people decide to actually vote in these damnable midterm elections, we could actually get things done. Mary from Sacramento. Yeah, we have another one like that from Easley. Hello, Steph. California has the smartest voters. We're leading on job creation. We're leading on possibly having a public option, leading to universal health care. We're going to be raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. We're meeting on immigration reform, women's reproductive rights. We will be the state that is going to start building high-speed rail. We lead in LGBT rights as well as marriage equality. We're also leading on so many other things it's hard to keep track. California will surely be the model state for which all the other states will follow suit. Governor Brown has done a wonderful job. I'm proud to be a Californian. I'm proud to be part of a progressive state that stood by President Obama and will continue to stand with him. Yay, California. Yep. Yay. It's true. It's one of the places that we've been able to, it's not just an experiment. We've been able to enact because we've had a Democratic legislator and a Democratic governor. Yeah. And they're absolutely right. And you look at like a Kansas, it's been a disaster with Republican policies and will continue to be.
Exactly.
And I feel bad for those people.
And our budget is doing well.
Thank you.
Our deficit is doing very well, and we're actually socking away money in a rainy day fund.
Guess who actually terminated the deficit? Not you, but Governor Brown did.
Yep.
Not you, Sperminator. No.
And we have a Democratic supermajority in the legislature, and so things just sail through.
They're super. Thanks for asking.
Yes.
Okay. Kevin in D.C., you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hello, Kevin. Good morning, sir.
I haven't watched any coverage this week for obvious reasons.
Yes.
Much for my nerves. But, you know, here we are in the ongoing cycle of Republicans tearing things down, them building it back up, and people inexplicably voting back in the very ideology that tore it down in the first place. Rinse, repeat, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when the Clinton and Dems built up a surplus, instead instead of hiring, the people who achieved that, Republicans are selected because, Clinton had a consensual relationship or something. And now,
right.
Obama literally on all the topics you can mention brought us out of the crap hole. And people reelect these cycles because he's a Kenyan, Marxist, whatever. And I have to say something. I mean, before I say this, let me preface that my people do horrible things. People of all races do stupid things. But I can't help but notice that the majority of people who vote for Democrats are African Americans, Asians.
And don't you love, by the way, they have this one Republican black woman that just won in Utah, and they think all their racial issues are solved now.
I don't. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone or something sometimes, But I do know that they have more people coming up, for re-election in 2016, which is the presidential election. I just wish we didn't have to go through this familiar cycle of having to live through the crap for the next 2 years before people figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I guess we do. That's the problem. By the way, as Republicans threaten that executive action on immigration could blow up chances of passing legislation, what a dumb threat.
Yeah.
If you do something and we're not going to do anything, it's like, but... A bipartisan group of pro-reform politicians, urged them to move forward on a bill anyway. The members told reporters on Thursday Republicans can and should address immigration in the next 2 years, even if President Obama enacts changes administratively. In fact, they said executive action could spur them to act faster, perhaps by making the move to supersede Obama or by giving them a deadline to pass a bill before his plan went into effect, which the president has said. He has always said this should be done legislatively.
That's right.
Haley Barbour, Republican, said Republicans, regardless of what the president does, should go ahead with a package of immigration reform bills. They're just going to use that as an excuse not to do anything and then try to blame the president like they always do. Mitch McConnell said, I think the president choosing to do things unilaterally on immigration would be a big mistake. It's like waving a red flag in front of a bull. You know what? You don't get to just say no anymore then. Then let's go. And then he did the whole, poisons the well thing because, the well's been so pristine before this. Now a warning about poisoning the well politically.
A warning?
I think we mentioned this earlier, but Senator James Inhofe is the author of the book The Greatest Hoax, How the Global Warming Conspiracy Threatens Your Future, is most likely going to become chairman of the Environment and Public Works Committee, taking over for Senator Barbara Boxer. Remember the time he suggested that a warming climate might actually benefit humans? Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
He said global temperatures rising may actually have a beneficial effect on how we live our lives. Wouldn't that be great? He has previously used Bible scripture to justify his refusal to believe climate science. He said, my point is, God's still up there. The arrogance of people to think that we human beings should be able to change what he is doing in the climate, to me, is outrageous. It's outrageous.
Why is he on a science-based committee if he's not basing anything on science?
Not on it, the head of it.
Why is he the head of a science-based committee if he doesn't believe in science? That's like putting Republicans in charge of public schools. They don't want public schools, yet they're in charge of them.
Right. No, now they want vouchers is what they want.
Oh, God.
Boehner sketches early agenda is the headline, and I'm guessing on a napkin, a cocktail napkin in a tavern. Just with his little orange Cheeto-stained fingers. They're going to act to approve the Keystone Pipeline. Great. Try to repeal the Affordable Care Act.
Check.
Okay. I'm just thinking
I'm getting a
rumbly tumbly. That's it.
Did you want to hire someone to kill somebody? Like the AC/DC drummer?
No, he did not. That was all misunderstanding,
I see.
Apparently.
Okay.
Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you Monday on the Stephanie Miller Show.